we're the lessee in 13 of them, which is mainly copiers and office equipment, stuff like that. And then we're a lessor for the child center at the center building. So we have to account for that in our financials now. And so that took a little extra time to put that together. So that's why the draft is probably going to be a little late, but we're on target for a successful finish. And I haven't heard of any issues with the audit this year.
Tony, Matt, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Am I not remembering? I may be remembering this completely incorrectly, but aren't we also a lessor on the Massaro farm?
Yeah, but there's no value to it.
Oh, because they don't pay anything, but technically,
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's
Okay.
correct. But because we have to book like the receivables and the, all the, because we're locked into the lease schedule, that's why.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Woodbridge Board of Ed financial report. I saw they had they're operating a small surplus. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, I can talk about that more.
You cover that? Okay.
The only, Susan, the other lease we have is for the fields, but
Right.
if it's less than a year or less, it doesn't count.
Right.
And those
That
are
I think-
annual. Yeah.
That I think I knew. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, capital budget meeting dates are Thursday, December 1st and Tuesday, December 6th. And I believe we're going to do those live with face masks. So if you plan to come, it'll be face masks. If you don't plan to come, you don't plan to come. So, but we'll see. Well, I guess we'll be getting more information on that. But the Board of Selectmen are meeting live, right, Beth, with face masks?
Yes, and there are air filters in the room and we have windows open as well.
Okay.
Masks are required.
Yep. But for something like that, it's much easier if we do it live.
First time I was a little, scary.
Yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, again, let's see where this. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see where this COVID goes now. Like I said.
separate, we're separate from every other chair. I don't know how you're going to do that with both boards, but
we'll determine that. Let's see how this. Like I was just saying, let's see if this COVID thing gets worse, like it seems to be. But we can always make a determination on that. Anything else, Tone?
That's it.
Okay. Funding request, we have just one, I believe. And it is a line item transfer within the Parks Department for a snow machine. You could talk to this, Tony. I'll move acceptance of line item transfer 2223-12 in the amount of $17,096.
So
Let me get a second first.
I'll second it.
Okay. Yeah, so tell us about this. I know we talked about it with Brad,
Right.
with Adam.
right, and he had it in his capital budget, and the board approved it in his capital budget. I think two things that happened. The first was the amount had gone up in the previous year, and the amount in the budget was probably not enough to account for that. And then since then, the price has gone up again, which is why there's a funding request or line item transfer actually to account for those increases. This is a snow machine that will be used for a variety of purposes around the town center, and it also has attachments that Adam plans to use for other purposes. You can put a mower on it, and there's a lot of sort of uses for it. So
This is serious for this kind of money. If this is additional, this is a serious piece of equipment.
correct.
This isn't just your typical snowblower.
No,
Obviously.
you sit. It's actually sit inside it, and
Yeah.
you.
and I think he made the point that it will save money in terms of having people stand and shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, with injury, you
Right, and injury.
save injuries too. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on this? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor? Yes. Tom.
Yes.
Donovan. Yes. Dwight, you in there somewhere? Dwight, you were there.
He's there. Yep, I see him.
I don't see him. Nor do I. Do I
He's
hear
waving.
him? He's waving to you?
His hands
Dwight,
up.
say yes, Dwight.
He's on mute. Dwight, you're on mute.
I'm here. Yes.
Okay, you're a yes? Okay. I lost you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, now you're in big, bold. All right. Next is approval of minutes. This is our regular meeting on October the 20th. I'm going to move acceptance of the minutes of October 20th, 2022 as presented.
I'll second.
Any corrections, adjustments, suggestions?
I had some corrections and suggestions that I sent to Karen today,
Okay.
and she's got them.
All right. Karen, where's Karen now? Who's it? You there, Karen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you got Ellen's.
Have them and made the changes.
Okay, good. Anything else? Okay. All those in favor? Yes,
Aye.
Ellen, White,
Yes.
Donovan,
Tom, yes.
Okay, we got everybody. Susan, you're in favor?
I'm abstaining. I wasn't
yeah.
present.
You missed, that's right. Okay. All righty, next, proposed meeting dates.
Those are for your review and we'll vote next month.
Okay, those are for review. So the important one, well, they're all important, but. All right, so look these over, and if there's a problem, let us know. Otherwise, we'll vote on them next month. Okay, budget guidelines, Tony. I think we talked about this, right?
Just put that on there in case someone had additional guidelines, but I put together the ones you had previously that you discussed at the meeting, last meeting. So,
Okay,
yeah. So if that was just in case anyone had any additional.
all right,
If not, then you can move forward.
okay. First selectman's report, Beth.
Thank you, Matt. I think I'm off mute. We had our regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen last week on November 9th, and there were several presentations. If you're interested, you can see them on Channel 79 or YouTube. The Community Cultural Center Committee, which is the committee working on the for the update on the old firehouse, met on yesterday, November 16th at 4 o'clock here at Town Hall, and they received committee members received input from department heads on suggested uses of both indoor and outdoor spaces. I was there. It was actually a pretty good presentation and 3 different options. So stay tuned. They are going to make a presentation to the full Board of Selectmen next month at our meeting on December 14th. So you're welcome to tune in and take a look at that. The next item I just want to make you aware of, as Tony alluded to, the Board of Selectmen received many letters, and they're still coming from residents and also non-residents who are expressing support for getting the Beecher Road School pool up and running again as soon as possible. And one of the first steps is replacing the filters, which could keep the pool functioning for a few years. As you know, the pool, as I think I mentioned last month, was built in 1972. So the Board of Selectmen at last week's meeting is getting more information regarding the operating costs, refining the costs of the filters, which at this point is estimated to cost around $50,000, if I have that right, Tony, I think. And also requesting that the Woodbridge Board of Education opine on the space needs. In other words, do they perhaps need it for classroom space, or would they prefer to keep the pool running? So we're waiting to hear from them as well. We also had a presentation from Alexia Belperon from the Amity Woodbridge Historical Society regarding various funding options related to the cow barn, which is the next building that they are updating. And it might include approximately an additional $48,000 as a base bid only. So stay tuned on that. That will also be coming back to us at our December meeting. But I will keep you up to date as we hear the options. And here we go again. I'm so proud to say this. Once again, I'm pleased to announce that we have been notified that our annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year, which ended on June 30th, 2022, has once again qualified for the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This award is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting. I know this is awarded every year in Woodbridge because we do this so well, but I just want to ask us all, we did it at the Board of Selectmen as well, take a moment to thank, with a round of applause, our esteemed Finance Director, Tony Genovese, our Finance Department members, Karen's here this evening, and also our Board of Finance. You guys need to applaud yourselves. It's truly a significant accomplishment, and we're so proud of all of you. What's the sound of one hand clapping here, you know? Okay, and that's that. And just lastly, at this time of Thanksgiving, as I said to the Board of Selectmen, I just want to express my appreciation for all of you working with all the town employees, boards and commissions, and meeting with so many residents over the past year. It's been a wonderful opportunity for me, and I'm truly grateful and thankful and so blessed to be your first selectman. I wish you all and your friends and family a safe and happy Thanksgiving holiday. With that, Heller out.
Okay. Just a question. I've heard again and again, and we all got this letter from the Recreation Commission about the pool. I've heard, Tony, could you just run? I mean, it's a lot more than just filters, I'm guessing, right? They're talking about a lot of money, and I honestly don't have any idea what that number is, or if you even know.
Trying to suss out here. You're right. But
Yeah, we had a report done, and there are a number of things that need to be repaired in the longer term. There's some leaks, there's some there's a window that's got to get fixed. There's a number of items that need to get repaired. In the short term, the filters would be the most immediate need. The other items are a little longer term, but you have to fix them eventually to prevent further deterioration and migration of the water into the structure. So there's some tile work. There's a number of items on the list, which we have a report which we can certainly forward to you.
If I remember, Tony, wasn't it like 50 to 80,000 to? It wasn't just filters; it was some filters and some piping or something, and that would go for a couple of years. And then
That's
if I remember,
correct.
it was like 800 to 900,000 to
The-
fix
the
up some.
amount- yeah, that's correct. The amount in the report's 800,000, but that's just a
estimate.
there's more. That's an estimate. Yeah, but that's the estimate in the report, about $800,000.
And and if I was remembered, the fixing of the filter pipes things might get us a couple of years. The 800 plus would get us maybe 10 years, he said.
Yeah, the 800. Yeah, that if you do all the repairs, obviously it'll last you, quite a, could be 20, 30 years, but you have to do all those repairs. The filters are just, the filters themselves will last 20 years. Our last time we replaced the filters was 2002, maybe 2003. So these have lasted just about 20 years. It's just that there are other repairs that need to take place within the next few years in order to keep using the pool.
And then didn't he say something like replacing the pool would be several million?
Of course, to replace the
Right.
pool, right? So you want to, repair the areas that he highlighted so they don't get worse and you don't get water into the structure, which has rebar in it. And then if the rebar starts to rust, get the
whole thing
crack,
falls apart.
the whole thing. And as he said, you have a catastrophic event, which means I guess all the water winds up in the basement of the school.
Yeah, that would be bad. And I'm glad the selectmen are asking for more information from Board of Ed, because at one of the meetings, I don't know if it was last month or the month before, there was a projection that they were going to need 6 new classrooms.
Right.
And I think someone brought up at that meeting as well that maybe we can look at possibly, would it be feasible to use the JCC as well? Because everybody likes the idea of a swimming program at the elementary school, but I'm glad it'll go through the selectmen, Beth.
Thank you so much.
The other thing just to mention is that, we're having Brad put together a capital budget for some repairs that,
Right.
he feels can be, more immediate repairs to keep the pool running, for the foreseeable future. So
So is the pool currently open or closed?
it's closed.
It's closed.
I think
Yep.
there were some minor code violations that we probably could pick up as well while we're doing this that aren't super impactful, correct, Tony?
Right.
Just little things, so. while
Right.
we're here.
I just want to toss this out here, but there have been other projects in town where the townspeople stepped up, but we also stakeholders also created fundraising possibilities. And it seems to me that the pool is one of these things where some fundraising could generate a few dollars. I could even, you call the campaign Dive In. I don't know what you call it, but it's another opportunity for people to think about if they really want to make this happen.
Okay.
Right. Isn't there a walkthrough tour of the school on the 28th at 6 o'clock?
Right.
Yes.
One of the items they're going to look at is the pool. I think that's going to be one of the items on the agenda, is to look at that.
Right, I just saw that on my calendar. Thanks, Greg.
Correct.
Yeah, so I believe that's going to be,
All of us, we should try to do that. It's a good idea.
Okay. Amity Finance Committee discussion. We talked about, of course, as we all know, I'm no longer serving on the Finance Committee. To be, I still get the information from Amity, and I guess Monday night's Finance Committee was canceled because of lack of a quorum. So, and it's not just me, obviously, there had to be 3 who didn't show up, me and 2 others. So, we had discussed briefly at the last meeting about somebody to replace me on that, and Donovan's name came up because he doesn't do enough already. And so we spoke, and I gave him the lowdown on what's involved, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And at this point, I don't know if you wanted to talk about it, Donovan. Do you think you want to do it?
I'm sure, Matt. I'll do it.
Excuse me? Can't hear you. I think you're muted. No?
I don't hear him.
He's
Yeah,
not
okay.
muted, but I don't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, kind of. Go ahead.
I'm sure I'll do it.
Oh, you're going to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you've got all these other things. You certainly can lighten your load. Otherwise, we're going to probably have the Donovan Loftus show every week, for all the different things. Every time I turn on channel 79, there he is. I was telling him that when I was talking to him, but yeah, it'd be great. I think, and I think you'd be an excellent addition. And at this point, with all that's going on over there, I know they could use as much help as is possible. So, okay, I think I had mentioned to them that we had a possible replacement, and they said to let them know. So, Karen, can you let them know?
Sure.
Yeah, I think Pam. Just if you know Pam Piero.
No.
Yeah, she'd be the one to. Oh, you can just you can contact them,
Yeah.
certainly. And then okay, good. Well, thank you, Donovan. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Donovan. We need somebody there. Thank you.
Yay.
Hey,
Pleasure.
Okay, liaison discussion and reports. And again, we're kind of are we or are we not? I guess if you want to make a liaison report, you can. Does anybody have anything they wanted to say? Tom.
I could talk about Beecher. I met to their finance committee meeting on the 14th. I was expecting there would be a new superintendent announced, but that clearly was on Wednesday night, not on the 14th. So I didn't bring up who would be working on the budget. I saw in the letter that came from Lynn and all that I think the new superintendent may be starting in early December. So I'm assuming that Christine is going to be, and Donna will be working with her over some overlap, but I don't know. A couple of highlights. Good news is right now there's $325,000 in savings off of the salaries. That's in part because of retirements and replacements with newer teachers at a lower salary level, but also that there's, if I got the numbers right, about 7 paraprofessionals, the TAs, that are open slots. And they're finding it very hard to fill those, as are most school districts, in part because not a lot of people are out there wanting those, in part because of the salaries, and in part because they're only hired for 10 months, not 12 months. And so supposedly a lot of school districts are finding that they hire people who still look for other jobs and get better jobs. One thing to keep track of is that the MRF is running about 20% higher than expected already. They're looking into why that is the case. They think it might be related to, and now I'm getting out of my element, but that when the budget was passed, the final figures on how much they were going to be charged hadn't been decided. So they're thinking that that may be that reason why it's higher. If they fill all the open spots, that will go even further in deficit. Just to keep an eye on for us, they're expecting a new, higher. They're expecting about 300,000 deficit in special ed. I guess maybe new person moving into the district who's going to require outplacement and transportation. So we can expect they're going to be coming to ask us about the excess cost grant. I think we all saw the letter from Christine asking us to transfer back the money. If you remember that New Haven was billed but didn't pay us until after the budget year, so it comes to the town. I think she sent a letter. It's not, I don't know where we are in the process, Tony. You can help me out on that, asking for that money back.
So she sent us the letter. It'll have to go in front of the Board of Selectmen at their December meeting. And then assuming if they approve it, it'll come to this board in December.
And then again, there was some discussion about the excess cost grants and what needs to happen with that, and how much of that they get back and for what purpose. Again, just as we get into the budget process, that will be on there. I don't think I misrepresented anything. Tony, did I get anything wrong? Did I miss anything that you think is
Not that I'm
important?
aware of. No.
So those are the things that were discussed.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
Yep, real quick. On this
Sure.
building committee, we've been meeting with AE firms, structural engineering firms. We had our last interviews today. We met with 4 firms who submitted interest in this project. We're planning to do a second round of interviews on Monday, the 28th. And that's our plan to go to the Board of Selectmen with a recommendation of a firm at their December meeting. And then we'll be able to negotiate from there a contract and an amount for the first phase. Right now, the way we've got it broken out is 5 phases. So it'll be for phase 1 to kick it off, to do recommendations and options of what to do with the center building. So we'll have that amount, and then we'll be requesting funds at that time in order to fund that, because I don't think there's no budget for that at this time. So, and that's basically where we are. And then if it gets approved, then we'll be able to, hopefully we can go to contract by January, and then we can start the process of looking at options, looking at PD, looking at human services and everything else, so, which is in our charge. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. So.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, not by way of liaison, but I just want everybody to know that the ad hoc Woodbridge 2030 second community meeting is scheduled for November 29th. Tony, am I right if I say 6 o'clock?
I believe that's correct. 6 o'clock, 29th at the brewery, New
At
England
the
Brewery.
brewery. And it's the first one was very successful. So of course, the entire community, we hope people will show up.
Oh, good.
All righty. Anybody else? No? Well, I will take this opportunity to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully it'll be healthy on top of happy. But enjoy, and we'll see you beginning of December for the
December
budget meeting.
1st.
More to come on that as to how we're going to do it. So we'll see how things go. But I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. See you
Goodbye.
soon.
All right. Bye,
Have a
everybody.
good Thanksgiving.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good holiday, everybody.
Bye-bye.